Chapter 29. Sin and Prayer. I have a 3-year-old granddaughter who has suddenly developed an ear for big words and phrases, which she loves to use, although she does not always understand what she is saying. The results are sometimes garbled. The other night, at bedtime, she was saying her prayers. Besides her usual thanksgiving, she brought in some phrases and petitions used by Daddy and the pastor. As a result, out came this strange thanksgiving. Quote, "I thank thee, Lord, for all my sins." End quote. Now Mary did not know what she was saying, although her mother quickly corrected and instructed her. However, all too many churchmen might as well be praying the same way. They seem so contented with their sins and unhappy over their duties. A 17th century poet commented about man's habit of prizing his sins rather than his duties, and he spoke of us as cherishing, quote, "our darling lusts." End quote. Much better was the prayer I heard some years ago by a man who had paid a painful price in the courts and prison for his rebellion and sin. Now, a quiet, faithful Christian, he prayed, quote, "I thank thee, Lord, for tripping me up, laying me out, and stomping me down in my sin, and for then making me a new man in Jesus." End quote. The confession of sin is an important part of prayer, especially private prayer, but it must be specific. People are ready to make a vague confession of sin, but never a specific one. They will not confess to being stingy towards God, mean to their family, ill-tempered towards loved ones, careless with the truth, or anything else. In other words, they confess to being vaguely a sinner, but a sinner without any specific sins. We must not treasure our sins, nor be grateful for them, but confess them by name and ask God's grace to cope with all of them. How many specific sins have you dealt with in your prayers? How can you overcome a problem or a sin you do not acknowledge and confess?